You guys, what's good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Back on this 22nd of July with the latest Inter transfer news. Yesterday, I decided to do the member-only Q&A video, so thank you to those who sent in the questions and hope you enjoyed that video. But before we get into today's news, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. What's going on in the world of Inter? We know that, of course, we've got the exciting Ademola Lookman news, incoming news, but realistically, I explained this in my budget video last week and all the videos that we've been talking to each other the last few days. Inter now, after spending or committing over 60 million euros, they need some outgoings. That's going to help us take Lookman over the line or bring in other players like Leone, etc. So Ausilio, especially Ausilio, Marotta, Bachin, that squad of directors need to earn their money and get some players out the window. And the first one that looks like could be close to leaving Inter finally, getting close to an agreement with the Club Brugge in Belgium is, of course, Aleksandar Stankovic. As per the reports, Corriere, and confirmed by Gianluca Longari and different outlets, the move is getting very, very close for 10 million euros. Matteo Moretto, actually, the Fabrizio Romano camp, they claim that actually the fee is 9.5 million euros, which is even worse in terms of negotiations from Inter. But, we're nitpicking now. At the end of the day, it's important to get the money in for Stankovic, which is a pure capital gain. It will be, he's from the youth team, or green money for Inter. So the stalling point was the buyback option that we discussed last week. Initially it said that Bruges were looking for 30 million euro buyback. Now it looks like the final agreement is 23 or 22 million euros in the first summer in 2026 if Inter want to re-sign the 19-year-old, and then the year after in 2027 the buyback fee will rise to 25 million euros, and there is a 10% sell-on clause as well in there if Inter don't buy him back and another team buys him back, which is decent. We've seen this team, we've seen how they deal with Ardon Yashari at the moment. The Milan are trying to buy this midfielder from them, and they are not budging from 40 million euros. They're even their captain, even a player, is calling Milan out publicly. It's hilarious. And we've seen how they sold Charles de Ketelare as well a few seasons back. That was 35 million euros. So they are a team that managed to sell players for a lot. So a 10% sell-on clause could potentially be, another extra 3 or 4 million if Stankovic does well there. And if Inter want to bring him back, it's not the end of the world. 23 million, if he does really well and he looks like he's ready to step in at Inter in the midfield, 23 million, 25 million euros, that is not much money. And if you take into account just as a one deal, if you take it separately, of course, it's 10, then you have to buy him back. It's a separate deal. But if you talk about it as a totality of a deal, you sold it for 10. If you bring him back, just pay an extra 12 on, so it's actually cost you 12 million, let's say, for Club Brugge to develop him, or 15 the summer afterwards. So not the best deal or negotiation, in my opinion, from Inter. But as I said, at the end of the day, it's important to get this over the line and start bringing some money back in as well. In terms of outgoings, we know Dumfries' release clause is worrying Inter fans, but actually, as I said in my previous videos, I'm not too concerned about it, because if it's Barcelona, the team that's mostly interested in him, and his agent, Jorge Mendes, is trying to push him there, their starter is already Jules Koundé, the starter right back. So it's not really like a push, like a big need for them. And as I explained, the fee has to be paid in one go, and there is no way that Barcelona will be able to pay that fee in one go. So I think in the end, Denzel Dumfries will actually end up staying at Inter, and I would be happy about that. Other outgoings that Inter need to, of course, sort out is the ongoing Hakan Çalhanoğlu saga, which now has confirmations coming from, actually, let me go on Inter Extra to see the latest developments, any latest tweets. So actually, Hakan has put a like on Fabrizio Biasin's Instagram post. I know it's hilarious that we have to do this kind of stuff, but he's put a like on Biasin's post, which was just posted Marotta's words, which actually I'll pull up now. Marotta spoke to the media, very, very short interview that he released to the media to kind of shut down really the news. But it's funny because he says, I wouldn't want it to become an issue when it's not. Excuse me, Mr. Beppe, you're the one who made it an issue. You're the one who called him out publicly. So yeah, looks like age is starting to catch up to Don Beppe. But anyway, continuing, we hear about the requests that never reach us. So he's talking about all these Turkish offers that apparently have never actually materialized to Inter officially, because it's all media driven. He will be back on Wednesday, like other players. He never said that he wants to leave. Maybe that is the issue, and maybe that is what Inter in the next few days will need to sort out, because Hakan, alongside Pavard, Bisek, and Zielinski, tomorrow, July 23rd, will be back at Piano Gentile for training to undergo medical tests and begin pre-season preparations. And maybe that is the time that Inter sit down with him, Christian Kivu, whoever, someone senior, Zanetti, sit down with Hakan and tell him, make your decision. You want to stay, or do you want to make this life decision? Which I think it looks like he's made it. The Turkish reports are kind of hinting that he has pretty much made his decision alongside his wife and family, that he wants to move to Turkey. And here, this is the news I'm talking about from Yagosa Bunchoglu, who has been kind of the source that's really been pushing this Hakan news. So I guess now we can say he's maybe a reliable source on this. He says Hakan has made his decision, would like to move to Turkey. First, the transfer fee between the clubs must be agreed. And this is talking about Fenerbahce now. Galatasaray side seems to have quietened down now since the Osimhen money is out of the door. And yeah, Italian sources from the Zone/Sport Media Set are saying that they're looking, Fenerbahce are likely to make or finally present an offer of between 15 to 20 million euros to Inter, and that his agent is in Istanbul with Hakan to meet with the midfielder and hold transfer meetings. So let's see what happens with that. But hopefully, I keep saying it, but it doesn't really seem to be happening, to sort this issue out once and for all. And yeah, this is what this article on Sempre Inter also says. Despite Morata's feeble attempt to quash transfer rumors, yeah, that's not happening. Let's move on to the if talking about outgoings that need to happen. One outgoing news that definitely I want to hear more on, and I hope to hear developments on, is Mehdi Taremi. Where is it? I am just looking for it here. There it is. Again, Gianluca Longari. Mehdi Taremi's entourage continues to work on finding the forward a new club. Contact with Besiktas have been confirmed, while Fulham and West Ham are also evaluating the 33-year-old. This is important. Getting, even if we get a minimum fee for Taremi, getting his 3.5 million salary off the books, net salary off the books, will be great to make space for potential incomings. So this is where Inter and the directors need to focus their efforts on. And of course, alongside the main news that we'll cover now, is it happening or not, guys? Are you getting more negative on this, or are you getting more positive now? So where are we on the Lookman situation? We know no agreement yet, and I'm sure you guys must be sick and tired of Romano recycling the same news on his feed, and all the outlets saying Inter and Lookman have an agreement. Inter have a contract agreement with Lookman for 4.5 million net, salary agreed, contract length agreed, his entourage is happy. We don't care. That's the easiest part. We know. Do not tweet to me once again, one more time. I will throw something on my screen if you say Inter have an agreement with Lookman, because that's fine. We have an agreement with Lookman. We need to get the agreement with Atalanta, and we know they are unwilling to budge on their 50 million asking price, as Gazzetta dello Sport reports here. On the other hand, Inter won't offer more than 40 million, but actually, we do know that Inter are going to now push to submit a new bid to Atalanta worth around 45 million euros. And actually, the holdup has been, and this is according to the reports, whether we believe it or not, that is up to you, is coming from Oak Tree. So Nico Skira reporting that Marotta and Ozilio are meeting with Oak Tree today. So that was yesterday, to kind of green light into putting more budget to raise their bid. So the feeling is 45 million plus bonuses should seal the deal. And if we see how Juve signed cup miners last season, it probably is true, because Atalanta weren't budging from 60 million euro asking price for cup miners. It would drag on for weeks. In the end, Juve signed him for 51 million plus 6 in bonuses, so 57 million total package, which means, and cup miners really pushed for the deal, just like Lookman is pushing for this deal and will continue to push for this deal with Atalanta. I think, yeah, if Inter get to 47, probably it'll get the deal done, but it definitely needs that extra push in budget that hopefully Oaktree will greenlight. But again, this is why it's important that Auxilio Marotta gets some players out the door as well, so Oaktree will be comfortable in budgetary matters to help push this through. The good thing about this deal as well is, or it could be a bad thing, I mean, the Coop Miners deal happened quite late last summer, or it dragged on for a long time. I think it's in the interest of all parties to try and get this wrapped up as soon as possible, so Atalanta can get their replacement and Inter can get their man to Kivu as soon as possible and bring him in to pre-season training. So yeah, you guys let me know, how are you feeling about this deal now? You think it's going to get pushed through? Are you getting confident or negative? It is a game-changing deal for Inter, whether you are a fan of the player or not. I think very little percentage of the Inter fan base will be saying that they're not fans of this deal. As a player, he will be a game changer to this Inter in terms of formation and what he will bring to this team. Moving on, the Leone stuff has kind of quietened down over the last few days, because obviously Inter are focused on Lookman. But as I said, it's important. Inter need to get something out, whether it's Thomas Palacios, especially at the back. Thomas Palacios, probably number one. And they need to free up space in the squad, just as I said. And here, Fabrizio Biasini reports that interest in the 18-year-old is confirmed, especially yesterday. Eduardo Cerniar, an intermediary working on behalf of Leone's agency, was at Inter HQ yesterday. So there are ongoing talks with Leone and his entourage. But I'm guessing no progress has been made with Parma as of yet. Just officialized the Akin Sanmiro loan with option to buy to Pisa. Fabrizio Biasini reports that the inclusion of counterparts in the deal for Odemir Lookman has been ruled out. The young players that Atalanta will be interested in, Pio Esposito above all, are not considered for sale. And Ademola Lookman's entourage, again from Biasini, he says, will meet with Inter today to resolve the situation concerning a transfer. So I'm hoping this is not more about his contract than his negotiation. I hope this is the entourage coming to Inter and saying, giving Inter the figure, like, it should have been 40. Ademola Lookman's entourage actually, so this whole deal, according to the reports, actually happened not from Inter starting the negotiation. It came from Lookman's agents offering him around, saying that he's available for 40 million euros because that was the promise from Atalanta. Turns out that the promise of 40 million euros was only for foreign clubs. For Inter, for Serie A teams, they want 50 minimum. So I guess now it's a game where Ademola Lookman's entourage is also going to try to push this deal through and try to soften up Atalanta to make this deal happen. So hopefully we develop on this situation in the next few days. We don't want this to drag on because other teams could come in. There have been reports that Napoli, of course, are interested. Atletico Madrid are interested. Both teams that we know are usually able to spend money quite easily. Napoli have, the Osimhen money coming in if they decide to make a move. Well, luckily they've already bought Noah Lang in terms of wingers right now. They're interested in the Bologna winger Ndoye. Apparently they're not in negotiations right now, but that could change. If this drags on, other teams could come in. Premier League teams could come in. Saudi teams could come in. So we need to move this quickly whilst Lookman is pushing for Inter. Finishing up today's news with the players that are returning. So we know that we said, a few players are returning tomorrow, which is actually earlier. the official date for the squad to join up is the 25th or 26th. But Joan Boni, good signs here, is reluctant to wait that long. The Frenchman, he wants to be at the disposal of Kyiv as soon as possible. Boni has out of been action since May due to injury. This won't stop him from reporting for duty tomorrow on Wednesday. As we said, alongside Pavard, Bisek, Zielinski. So yeah, this is a good sign that he's joining up the preseason early. He's hungry. To be honest, his transfer now with this Ademola Lookman thing, now it looks like maybe, I think it kind of shows that this Lookman thing was maybe fully planned, or from the summer or the beginning of the summer wasn't planned, because now if Lookman comes in and you're thinking about playing a 3-4-2-1, Boni, Esposito, Thuram, Lautaro, if there is one striker spot, 4 strikers starts to be a little bit overkill. But if it's going to be mainly 3-5-2, then we should be okay with some variation to 3-4-2-1. But yeah, this is a great sign from Boni that he's hungry, ready to come in, ready to fight for his spot. And this is what we needed, right? Youthful energy, exuberance, and hunger. That's what we missed last season. And let's see what happens in the next few days. I'll keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on in the world of Inter. Hope you guys enjoy that. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, I read every single comment. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter. Come on Ausilio, come on Marotta. Bring home Ademola Lookman.